The New York Knicks took a 1-0 series lead in the NBA Finals, and to me it started with a great defensive game plan to stop Victor Wembanyama. I want to start early in the first and notice the matchup. Cat is the primary defender on Victor, and right away we see the Spurs' game plan to attack Towns. They want to spread everyone out along the perimeter and give Wemby room to isolate in the middle of the floor. Victor tries a pump fake and it looks like he has a step, but Bridges is already digging into that driving gap, so Wemby tries the other way, but Towns is recovered and Hart shows that same gap help, so Wemby ends up with a spin and a pretty awkward shot. The very next possession, again the Spurs want to go with point Wemby to try to attack Cat on the perimeter, but look at all the attention the Knicks are giving him. McHale is sinking way off his man to take away the left side, and OG is stunting on the right. He jars the ball loose, Bridges comes up with it, and now the Knicks are out and running for an easy 2. So the Knicks stunting and digging down against Victor was a huge part of how they wanted to stop him. The Spurs clear out a whole side of the floor for Victor here, but still we see Shamet help all the way down, basically ignoring his man, and Wemby's first thought is to go left, but he runs right into the help, so he resets, and that was just not his best work there. Alright, this one gets pretty interesting. It's a flare for Wemby and it causes a switch. Victor posts up and gets it in good position, but again, look at the attention. All 5 Knicks players have a foot in the paint here, and notice the active high hands to deter a pass to the corner, so it ends up being a fine pass from Victor and an okay shot, but this is a shot the Knicks can live with. So not only does this game plan test San Antonio's shooting, it also tests Victor's passing ability. It's another post up here, and as Wemby spins, Alvarado again digs down to help, and I don't know if Cat even needed the help there, but if Wemby could make this kick out pass now, Fox might have a shot, and even throwing it here would give De'Aaron a chance to attack a closeout, but instead Victor settles for another tough one. Again here, we'll see the passing tested. It's that same flare play for Victor, and as he curls it, Deuce has to respect his role. He helps down, which means on the skip, Barnes can attack that closeout, draw 2, hit Victor, and look at Jose Alvarado. Where did he come from? Well, on the Barnes drive here, Jose sinks to help, so when Wemby gets it, Alvarado just naturally takes away the middle drive, and he's basically ignoring De'Aaron Fox, but Vic spins into a really tough shot. So sending extra help and getting in the driving lanes was super effective against Victor, but these principles stayed the same for New York regardless of who had the ball. It's Fox off a miss here, and check out Brunson, just leave his guy to deter a drive, and now as it goes to Harper, Shamet will sink down into the gap, so they force another above the break 3, and on the offensive rebound, I like this from Brunson, recognizing Shamet out of position, takes his man, good job to not foul here, and now they can close out the possession with a rebound. I really liked this play too. Dylan Harper had a big first half in this one, driving and finishing at the rim, so here Brunson gives him a bit more cushion, some gap help from Deuce, and as it swings to Castle, Deuce thinks he has to get over this screen, but Steph rejects the other way, so again Brunson helps down, and it's another tough shot. I actually thought Brunson had a pretty solid game on defense. Watch him get back in transition to stop Castle's drive, and then again multiple Knicks crowding these driving gaps, and they force the turnover. This is more great effort from Brunson sprinting back in transition to stop the ball, but the Knicks are a bit scattered here. Keldon's drive draws help, kick to Fox in the corner, swing it, then the one more to Harper, but Brunson knows his personnel, he closes way short on Harper, and that pretty much kills the advantage for the Spurs. And closing short like that to certain shooters was another part of the Knicks game plan that I thought they executed really well, and also closing short pairs perfectly with their heavy gap help and stunting. Check this one out, it's semi-transition for Victor, and Deuce McBride is guarding Dylan Harper here, but look at him come all the way over to help Cat. Wemby does make the passing read here, but now Deuce closes short, and New York is willing to live with that shot over Victor playing one-on-one. Okay, this one's another great example where this transition possession turns into a post-up for Victor, and he wants to shoot another fall away, but ends up kicking it out at the last second, and watch Bridges, knowing Castle's the shooter, he can close really short and allow a 3 rather than a drive. Now it's Fox isolating to end the quarter, and he does a nice job to touch the paint, so Bridges helps down on it, and on the kick out now again closes short, and Castle doesn't want to shoot this time, so he drives it instead. Of course, McHale is ready for it, and he's able to get a nice stop here. So I thought the game plan execution from New York was great. All that stunting and digging was really effective, and the Knicks' aggressiveness whenever Victor tried to drive really stuck out to me, as well as how they successfully closed short to certain shooters. But as good as the team defense was, I think Karl-Anthony Towns also deserves a ton of credit for his individual performance. I love this play where De'Aaron Fox rejects the screen, and that draws help from Hart, so Castle cuts behind it, but look at Hart and OG get what might be the rare double block. That is amazing, but now all the matchups are scrambled, and as Victor flashes middle, watch McHale and Towns communicate. Towns takes Wemby, and he's got the length to get a good contest there. I thought Cat's defense really shined in the clutch too, where Victor actually has some room to operate here, but Towns is quick enough to stay with him and strong enough to just stonewall the drive. He might get away with a foul with the right hand there, but despite being known as a bad defender, Cat's actually a pretty tough matchup for Wemby. The Knicks held San Antonio to a 93.5 offensive rating in Victor's minutes, and they're really well equipped to guard him with multiple elite perimeter defenders, Cat, and even Mitchell Robinson, who had some good possessions too. So the story of this game was definitely the Knicks defense, but let's move to the other end of the floor now, where there was a really interesting chess match with how the Spurs were guarding Karl-Anthony Towns on his pick and pops. Watch this play from the first quarter, where we see Cat set the screen and pop, and notice the coverage from the Spurs. This is called a late switch, so instead of just switching this right away, Champagnie will still fight over. Now Wemby calls for the switch, and this is a good way to take away a pop without showing your hand right away by switching immediately. The thing is though, the Knicks are smart, and Towns recognizes the switch and sprints to the block. Shamet sprints up so they can swing the ball, and New York's able to take advantage of the late switch with Towns drawing a foul there. Here is another good example where it looks like normal drop coverage at first. Now they switch late, and Towns is just a monster switch beater, so he powers through Fox. Wemby has to help, and the Knicks drill a three. This one's pretty fun. So Castle pokes it away to start the possession, and again, as Towns screens, Castle starts to fight over, now switches to Cat, and this time Brunson wants to attack his switch. Victor does a great job defending and contesting on the perimeter, but remember, Cat has a mismatch on the glass and he draws another foul. The Spurs did have another strategy for these pops that I saw them try twice, I think, and I think they might only do this when Josh Hart's in the game. So again, we see the pick and pop, but this time Castle's not switching to Towns. Instead, he's fighting back to Brunson, and everyone else is gonna rotate. Fox slides up to Cat, Champagnie rotates over, and Wemby sprints down to guard Josh Hart. And you might think, okay, so the Knicks should just post up Fox, right? But look at De'Aaron, call for Wemby to help because Victor can roam off Hart now, and they don't end up posting Towns here, but Wemby roaming like that is helpful nonetheless. It's that same strategy this time where Castle recovers to Brunson, Fox slides up, Wemby's trying to get to Hart here, but Cat tries to beat the rotation with a skip pass. Champagnie is able to recover though, and now the Spurs are in good shape and New York's not able to take advantage. All right, let's finish this off with one more pick and pop possession, which is just amazing. So Brunson calls for Cat to come screen for him, but Wemby pre-switches this with Fox, so he goes up instead, and now the Spurs can just switch the action. But now with Wemby guarding Shamet, Landry wants to drag him up, and again, Victor wants to pre-switch this with Castle, but Brunson knows they want to pre-switch, so he fires a pass to Shamet before Castle switches onto him, and that lets Shamet attack, but now Wemby helps anyways, and the Spurs end up with a stop there. There's a lot going on. But how the Spurs guard Towns, and specifically how they guard these pick and pop actions, is certainly something to keep an eye on going forward. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments who you got in game 2. Thanks for watching.